Hello team, and welcome to the second No Shot Devlog. Today I'm going to be showing you some cool stuff, some cool tech that's been worked on since the last devlog, as well as an exciting announcement that I've been working on for like probably a little bit over a month now. It's been a lot of research, a lot of time, but it's finally all come together. So I have started my own company, or LLC is whatever you want to call it, called Iteration 3. You can go to the website. I'll have a link in the description. But yeah, we got a cool logo, we got a cool site, we got the trailer, all this cool stuff. And in addition to that, we're actually also hiring some people. So we're actually hiring a concept artist to help with some visual style and sci-fi stuff. So yeah, this will enable me to more easily work with other people to like help out with the art for the game or sounds for the game, like things that I'm not necessarily like super skilled at. Like I typically focus on the code and stuff. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I figured I'd show you guys, and yeah, let's get back to No Shot. So yeah, this is a little testing map that I have for the game. So you can see we got the new geos in here. I'm sure you've already seen these. And we've actually got this new pillar kind of geo that Mimi has been working on. It's pretty cool. It's not quite done yet, but we're getting there, just tweaking the textures and stuff. We also have this cool floor texture that we've been working on, and it's currently just kind of like spammed over all the walls. It won't actually look like this. We're gonna refine it a little bit once the arena is more finalized, because we're still testing layouts and stuff. But it's kind of a cool pattern, cool experiment that I think looks pretty good. And of course we got the new disc, kind of the highlight of everything. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. All right, so let's go over some of the new tech that I've been working on for the game. So the first thing is that I basically completely rewrote the grabbing and collision system for the game. For a couple different reasons. The first reason was the performance. So I figured I should actually just dive into a real profile that I recorded here from the game. This is from 11:28, before the new physics and stuff. So you can see every frame there's a simulation. So we simulate all the players in the game. So each one of these green sections is a different player. So if we zoom into one of these here, you can see that at the start it kind of starts out with a lot of queries, and these queries are basically the player checking like, okay, am I touching a wall? Am I touching a disc? So some of these are for doing the paddling movement, so if you're pushing off wall, and some of these are for the hands to detect the grabbing. And then once it's done all that, it's like, okay, I know where I am, I know where I'm going, and now I need to move to that new location. So if I'm going forward, then I move forwards. I need to move all the things that are on my player. And this is also very expensive. As you can see, it's moving like a bunch of different stuff. Which includes like the body collision and the stunning collision and the head collision, all these different things. So my solution to this was to write my own collision system, basically. So taking a look at a new profile here, you can't exactly compare the numbers because the previous profile was on a Quest device and this is on my PC, so the numbers are kind of inherently going to be lower. But the main thing to compare here is the amount of work that we're doing compared to before. So you can see we're only doing 2 queries here instead of like 5 or whatever it was before. And then that's followed by a much smaller apply transforms. We're not moving a billion different things. There's just a couple of different things that I'm doing. And then these new things at the end are my custom collision system. That is a lot faster than Unreal's kind of the way I was doing it before. And then after all the players simulate, we do some of the grabbing logics. This is separated out into its own system now, which allows it to be a lot more optimized than before. So yeah, just a lot of like reorganizing, refactoring stuff in order to get that crispy performance that I'm looking for. I was starting to run into performance issues, and I kind of knew that, especially like once the player has like legs and more colliders and stuff, like it's just not going to scale. So I ended up writing my own collision system. You can kind of see it represented by these green boxes here. So if I move this guy around, you can see the green boxes are following with him. And that represents the physics, or not it's technically just a box, it's just data. So I can see if I go up here and grab this guy, and grab onto him, we can fly around. That's pretty cool. So something important to note too is that I also rewrote the climbing system to work with this. And that includes stuff like when the body moves, you can see like when his body is tilting, the hand is staying attached to it. Before, the hand would just kind of like float in space like this and it would not stay attached. So that's been fixed now, and that also works like on the head too. So if I grab onto his head, and he's like spinning around. Like it stays at the same pivot point that it showed relative to the head, which is important for things like regrabbing. It makes that feel a lot more proper when you're pulling through someone. Your hand is actually like kind of attached to their chest rather than just like floating in the middle. And this is still the old disc model. I need to swap it over, but you can see that the disc also has, it's kind of the custom physics sphere. So it's using the new system, and I can do all the same stuff as before, grab and throw, all that fun stuff, but it's just way faster. So that's pretty exciting. So the second big tech upgrade is something that's gonna be kind of difficult to explain, but I'll do my best here. So basically, I've been using Unreal's built-in networking for pretty much everything right now. So like I'm using RPCs and that sort of stuff to send data between the server and the client. And this works fine, except that it's not super optimized because, you know, RPCs have a lot of features. There's a lot of things you can do with them, and I don't necessarily need all of those features. So what I did was I wrote a custom data channel in Unreal that allows me to just kind of like send data directly to the client. No fancy anything. I'm just sending raw bits of data that represent the state of the game and your inputs or whatever data I'm sending. And then the client interprets that and then uses that to display the game. And that's not fully done yet. It's very close. But the whole reasoning for this is basically to again to optimize the performance, because RPCs were taking up a lot of the performance time. And by writing this custom data channel, I'm essentially bypassing all of the stuff that I don't need and just doing the one thing that I do need, and saving a lot of CPU performance, which is always a good thing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the devlog. I know it was a bit more technical this time. A lot of the under the hood stuff that I needed to do to get the performance good. Designing the game with performance in mind is kind of a core pillar for me with No Shot, for a couple of different reasons. For one, it just kind of makes the game smoother to play. Like the networking feels better, the interactions feel better when everything's running at a smooth, consistent frame rate. And the second reason is I tend to get kind of motion sick when I'm playing games, especially if they're not perfectly smooth. If you're moving and it's kind of like juddering a little bit, it's not smooth. It tends to make me kind of sick. So that's always been something that's kind of important to me, is making sure that the games I make are nice and smooth. I'm not making anyone sick, and just that it feels really good to be in the game and be in the world, and you're not thinking about like oh there's a lag spike, you know, this is a video game, or like oh I saw the animation like completely bug out and like go into the wall, like this is a video game. You should just be playing the game and just like experiencing the world, and you're not thinking about these things. You're just in the world. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully progress will pick up a little bit now that I'm reaching the end of the making a company tunnel that I've been in for the past month or so. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.